coming up on Added Time.
I think I've met his cousins and all his family and stuff like that. There was a few periods where on our day we just felt like we can compete against anyone.
That's a team that, with the expectation of America in sport generally, they think that they're going to be world champions.
Is that the game that Wayne Rooney walked off?
Yes.
Gave it to the camera and said, why aren't you behind us?
Yeah, we've got a group of players now for England that have that experience, that tournament experience. If someone would have said to me back then, do you think he's got the potential to go on and win a Ballon d'Or? I would have said yeah.
Added Time, out and about once again, and in between Boz and Foz this week, we've got a Premier League legend. It's great to have him in Australia for a short stay, but a good stay. Jermain Defoe, thanks for making the time to join us here at Stan Sports.
Welcome.
Cheers, guys.
You're here for 5 minutes, but you're here obviously to announce the fact that Tottenham are coming back in a few months' time. Play Chelsea, a couple of A-League games as well. No doubt you're going to put your name down to be involved there. Exciting to be involved in one of the clubs you played at and played so well for.
I think it's amazing for obviously the club to be involved in this. I think it's probably special for the fans here to experience that. Obviously supporting the teams from afar and then get the experience to actually be here and for the club to be here, but the fans to see like these world-class players and not only that as well. I think the fixture as well, it's a special fixture. It's always been like Tottenham, Chelsea, that rivalry and that. So for the club for the fans to see that and the kids and the coaches to come out, connect with the kids in the community, do a little bit of coaching. Just the whole thing's going to be amazing.
And Jermain, will it be after the World Cup they come out, yes?
Yeah, and obviously depending on obviously how the teams get on, but depending on obviously the personnel in terms of who comes and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean the whole thing's just going to be amazing. Yeah.
We'll get to the World Cup draw in a moment. I love on England's draw. We've been discussing how Australia's going to go, Foz, as well. But mate, you're still looking sharp. You're like.
Do you know what? I do a lot of cycling.
Cycling?
So I do a lot of cycling, yeah. I do a lot of cycling.
Enrique.
I'm playing I'm playing like obviously the soccer aid every year and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it really. But I just do a lot of cycling. And you know what it's like when you play and you got a certain sort of like lifestyle and that you just try and keep up on that. So.
And when Spurs do come out here, give us your take. Are they going to come out here perhaps with a trophy to show off, or do you think
I hope so.
Maybe it'd be a top 5 place, top 6? How do you think? I mean, the season's been a little bit up and down thus far, but they had a good win on the weekend against Brentford and showed us some good glimpses. What have you made of it so far, and where do you think it's going?
I think on the road, I mean, away from home, Tottenham been good in terms of the results and the performances. I think there's always been a demand at the club, an expectation, to not only to win but to play in a certain style. Last season under Ange, I remember when Ange first came in. I played against Ange's Celtic team when I was at Rangers, and I was impressed with the way they played. And of course, Thomas Frank's come in, and I think, for him, he's probably come in and thought, you know what, we need to try and find a way to be difficult to beat first before anything else, because there's good players. At the top end of the pitch, I just feel like that takes care of itself. Just be solid. It's a different way of playing, but at the same time, I feel like if you can just the way performances get that at home now, then it'll be. It's a long way to go still.
Yeah. Jermain, you must have been asked about Ange a lot while you've been in town only a few days. Obviously, there was a huge swell of support here. And
I think I've met his cousins and all his family and stuff like that.
I mean, you had a takeover by the Aussies there at the club, basically, because we had the assistant coach Mila Jednak and everyone there, which was nice for Australian football.
Yeah, of course.
How do you see his kind of legacy at the club? How you think the fans perceive Ange's time, and also, for Australian fans from here, and also you're talking about Thomas Frank. Then, it has been a difficult period. Do you think that kind of that style of football is going to take Tottenham where they need to go?
I think with Ange, I think all you need to do is look at the celebrations in North London. That night I remember watching it, thinking, wow, it's a long time coming. 41 years, a European trophy. A long time coming, and to be fair to Ange, he said that he was going to do it second year, and he delivered. I think that's the legacy, and I think for anyone involved in Tottenham, fans included, you have to appreciate someone that can give you that sort of. Memories and the celebrations.
Yeah,
and that. It was a special night, but he said he was going to do it and he done it. You can only respect a coach like that.
Guys, it'll be fascinating to see early next week if they start singing for Ange, both sets of fans, because it's Spurs and Forest as well.
Exactly.
Cup, but I mean, Forest, what happened to them on the weekend?
I don't know, they've been a bit up and down as well. Look, there's a big difference, and look, Jermain will tell you as well, when you're playing in Europe, it is a huge difference because, especially depending on the competition that you're in. Of course, Forest is in the Europa League, but they're not used to that. I mean, last season was their best season in 30 years. 30 years ago, they were in the European competition. And when you've got to get yourself up every 3 days, and then sometimes you've got to start rotating the team, suspension, and so forth, it makes a huge difference.
Even
and
like
you've got a team
and stuff as well.
Exactly, you've got a team that's fresh coming at you. They want to be where you're at. Like let's see, we can beat these. So that explains a lot the inconsistency. But there's very tight down there, but it's also very tight at the top of the table as well.
Yeah.
And of course, one of your old clubs who you're highly successful with, Sunderland, they got the huge Tyne-Wear derby coming up this weekend. The reason I brought this up is because Mr. Peacock over here is a big Newcastle fan. But Sunderland have been tremendous, haven't they?
Yeah, to be fair, it's a different team. Yeah. Obviously from last season in the Championship. I feel like they had to do that, to be honest. If you want to stay in the Premier League, it's so difficult for the teams that come up. It's a different team. In terms of recruitment, it's been spot on.
Amazing,
I think they've got a group of players that are hungry. Young group of players, good manager, a lot of energy, a lot of legs in the team. 9 years since the last one. It's a Premier League fixture. Sunderland, Newcastle, and that. So you can imagine that's going to be rocking.
Jermaine, I'm just seeing the Spurs.
That's
top
going to
at
be
the
rocking.
moment.
Yeah. And the boys are playing well. But you have picked it up.
Oh my goodness, the one on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, but it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be. I'm actually going to the game. I'm working, so it's going to be some atmosphere. But yeah, good one.
Let's talk more about you. Goals wherever you went. Most specifically at Tottenham, 91 goals in 276 games. Can you give us a time at Tottenham where you thought, not only from yourself perspective, but when you're playing well, but also the team is playing really well as well, that we can beat anyone. We are in a position that if we keep this going, that we could be real contenders. Was there a time at Tottenham when you thought that?
A few times, to be honest. I remember 2010. After Rock, I remember. When I look back, not only me, when I meet up with the boys and we playing obviously the Legends games and stuff like that, we always talk about it. Some of the players that I played with there, some of the teams that we played in, there was times where you thought, we're on it. We really fancy ourselves. Even under AVB, I'm talking about the Harry era. Under AVB, I remember we had a period where we were flying. Gareth was doing his stuff, Aaron, and even the squad that we had there. And I think it was just a case of just getting over the line. We didn't really have that experience, and obviously we brought in, the Edgar Davids and the William Gallises that more experience that have done it, been there and done it and stuff like that. But yeah, there was a few periods where, on our day, we just felt like we can compete against anyone for sure.
Yeah. So what, Jermaine? What do you think the club needs to do then? Obviously, there's been a lot of discussion about the club here since you have an Australian coach in there. Everyone has their eye on it. They get where they've been in recent years and so on. What do they have to do, you think, to get into that top echelon and once again be fighting for titles?
Yeah, I think it's going to take time, of course. I think when you look at sort of like the infrastructure around the club, like with the training ground and the new stadium, it seems like the perfect time to be at a football club. Yeah. And then obviously the new managers come in, obviously needs time. New players have come to the building, again that needs time. It doesn't just happen overnight. And even you speak about Thomas Frank when he first started and his other jobs. He started quite slow. And some of the great managers have had the same sort of journey in terms of starting slow and then becoming legends in the game. But in terms of like the infrastructure and the football club, of course you need to be playing in like the Champions League and. But yeah, like I said, they say you're only as good as your last game. So I like to think now, hopefully the boys can go on a good run.
Yep.
And football's confidence. Yeah. Football's confidence. As a team, when you're playing well, you just can't wait until the next game.
Yep.
When's the next game? Who you're playing against doesn't matter. When you go through periods where you're not playing well, you're not getting results, and sometimes you're playing good, still not getting results. Becomes difficult, especially the Premier League, because in the Premier League there's no easy game.
Or you could just do what England cricket team do and go to Noosa for 5 days and play golf.
You're dying to get
Let's get the World Cup draw, shall we? Everyone's pumped about this, and it showed it last week, despite the fact that the draw went in places we didn't think a World Cup draw could go, Foz. But anyway, that's by the by. The actual outcome of the draw and some of the matchups, fascinating. Jermaine, if we don't mind, we're going to touch on Australia first because we're biased here on Australian soil. USA, Paraguay, and the winner of the March playoff, which would be fascinating to watch, Slovakia, Kosovo, Turkey, and Romania. One out of those 4 there. Your thoughts, Foz? Is it negotiable for Tony Popovic and his team?
I think the thing about it is, for the first time, we don't have a really strong, potential world champion in the group, right? And of course, we had France in 1822, we had Brazil in 06, we had Spain,
Germany
Netherlands, in 2014. Germany smashed us in 2010. So that's very different. It's very even groups. I think all 4 teams actually look at that group and go, we could get out of it, which is good. We don't have what in our group what you would say is like a much weaker one, and of course there are quite a few of those in the draw because it's been expanded so much. So I think you've heard the response from US. They think it's a fantastic result for them. It's good that we played them only 2 months ago. Of course, we lost to them, but we know them very well. I do think it's good to play the home team, not in the first game, because if they don't go well in the first, and the pressure in the second can be suffocating. Yeah. And what we've seen from Pochettino, I'm not that confident in his team, because they've been very much up and down. I think he's got a really talented group. It's a young group, and we saw they could play good football against us, right? But I tell you what, that's a team that, with the expectation of America in sport generally, they think that they're going to be world champions, right? And all of a sudden, if these guys don't go well, and they could well stumble, I don't think they're the finished article, then all of a sudden, it's going to be a difficult tournament for them at home, I think. Of all of the 3 teams, I think they're the one that's going to feel the pressure the most, so I don't think that's bad for Australia. So it's a group where I think we've got a fantastic chance to get out. And if you're able to win that group, then you play a 3rd place, right?
Yeah.
And then, you've got a fantastic opportunity back in the round of 16, and we've never been to the quarterfinal, Jermaine. So, to me, it looks like a really good play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just think there's no easy games in the World Cup. I always remember 2010 when you were in the World Cup and you scored against Slovenia. Yeah. Slovenia were pretty much unfazed. That was it was a difficult group. I just think every so-called smaller nation are raring to go, right?
Yeah.
The bigger nations, the ones that can win it, the teams that Fozzie mentioned, add Spain to that, England. You want to peak yourself, right? So you're going to reach your peak because you think you're going to reach the final. Yeah. So there's always a chance of shocks early on. Now we've got the best 3rd place team out of the 12 groups. So in the past, when you've lost your first 2 games, normally you're pretty much out.
You're out, yeah.
Now it's going to be those whole 3 group games. So I think the most important thing is to worry about yourself. I really do. Just to worry about yourself. Don't worry about who you're going to play, whatever, and just be ready for any eventuality.
Yeah. To play in them, Jermaine, those matches, and you played in cup finals. They feel like cup finals, like 3 separate cup finals, because we can watch it and go, oh, we're all patriotic, we get carried away.
Yeah, it does
but
feel like that.
Try and do the business, because sometimes they can be a bit yucky, the games, not go to plan.
I think when you sort of like the World Cups and even like the first game, I remember in South Africa, it was obviously USA, and then we played against Algeria. Against USA was 1-1. Obviously the Rob Green mistake, probably never made a mistake like that up until that point.
And never will.
Sort of like the magnitude of that game and the pressure. Against Algeria was 0-0. Probably should have won.
Is that the game that Wayne Rooney walked off?
Yes.
And gave it to the camera and said, "Why aren't you behind us?"
Yeah, exactly.
Fans.
And the cameraman went, "I am. I'm right."
Exactly. in front of me, right next to you.
What are you on about?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you should have said. And then obviously Slovenia game we won 1-0 scored on that. So listen, it's the pinnacle. When the World Cup's on, the world stands still. And you spoke about obviously America, the pressure for those players.
You guys have that.
Do you know what I mean?
You had that. But your teams now under Gareth previously seem to have learned how to deal with that expectation.
Yes, and I think that we've got a group of players now for England that have that experience, that tournament experience, which will help.
That's true.
And I think the fact that the boys have come so close in the last few tournaments, and that of course will help them, but just to get over the line. But with Thomas Tuchel, I think when you look at his cup competitions, like he knows how to win.
He does.
Do you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Be interesting.
You've got Croatia.
That's mine.
Again?
Again.
Ghana, Panama, again.
Tough. Panama.
I was just about to say before, just to let you know, I said my parentage is from Croatia. Be careful what you say.
I was going to say second Croatia, but no.
He's going to tell all his mates in Western Sydney might not get out.
They're all waiting at the bridge.
But we've always struggled over the years, to be fair.
It's been like that, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been.
Great history of it.
Yeah, it has been. Croatia always create great players. So but and obviously Ghana, a great African nation, and obviously the conditions as well. Difficult for the players with the heat and stuff like that. It will slow the game down.
You saw that in the Club World Cup, right? All of a sudden,
the game's
very concerned.
The game was completely different than that. But listen, World Cup, I think it's important to start well in any cup competition. If you start well, then anything can happen.
Iraq, if they get through with Graham Arnold, by the way, he cops Sadio Mane, Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe.
The three players, the three. Oh my God!
It would be a wonderful achievement for Iraq to qualify.
Let's
just a quick on Croatia. It was all our Croatian viewers or Croatian background viewers, but Luka Modric. Yeah, you would have played with him, right?
Yeah,
trained with him. Just tell all our Australian Croatian viewers what was he like, because they idolise him.
Mate, yeah, he's unbelievable. What a player. At the time, at Tottenham, you know, he was magical. I remember we played against Croatia at Wembley. Do you remember the Brolly, Steve McCarron?
Yeah. We won't say what they called him, but I remember
we had.
You have to say the word Brolly.
Yeah, man. I remember we had Lampard, Gerrard. Scholes had finished at that point. But Lampard and Gerrard, two greats. And we had this, you know, Croatia had this little guy in midfield, pissing down with rain. He's got moulds on. I'm looking at him thinking, this guy's not slipping. He's silky and that. Obviously, Luka Modric and that. And then just to play with him, it was special. Nice guy, humble guy, but. If someone would have said to me back then, you know, do you think he's got the potential to go on and win a Ballon d'Or? I would have said yeah.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I would have said yeah, because he was a special.
What about play until the age of 40 and still do the business for Milan?
I didn't want to say that. I'd have been like, Luka, no chance. Yeah.
It's incredible. Just back to that 2010 World Cup. That, oddly enough, was the advent, I feel, of VAR with what happened to Frank Lampard.
Yeah, with that goal against Germany.
Oh my God! Honestly,
sorry to bring it up, but
oh my God, that still haunts me now.
Yeah, I know, but that is the VAR for that goal. Everyone in the whole stadium could see it was over the line.
When people asked me about that game and that moment, so it was losing. That would have been 2-2 at half time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then the second half could have been completely different. So I remember the ball came to me, and I took a touch, got tackled, and it fell to Lamps. He shot, and I was still on the floor, so I could see everything. So I'm on the floor, sort of like celebrating, and it's like transition, counter-attack. And I'm looking at the referee, and the referee's running. So I thought, nah, surely not. Yeah. And the game's obviously carried on, and that you're getting at half time, you like, and then it's obviously second half. They were unbelievable, to be fair to them, and that. But yeah, you think
killer.
Killer. The game could have been completely different.
Your head's gone at half time, not gone, but it's like.
Yeah, you feel like that because you feel like we've just scored and that. And listen, naturally, you're like, because it's a tough game. Do you know what I mean? World Cup, Germany, like the pressure. So you need anything you can get, really. You just take anything you can get. So yeah, it was disappointing, of course, but listen, it happens.
They're great tournaments, World Cups, Foz. You've been to so many of them. What do you think will prove definitive after you've seen the draw and where they're all playing and where everyone's based, about what might breed success at next year's World Cup?
I don't know. I think that's difficult to say. I do think from Australia's perspective, it's good that they have had a number of games there. That's very good. And people wanted the games here on home soil always, but to be able to take on, you know, USA and others over there, get used to the conditions, get used to, you know, the travel and the like. I think our group is also good in relation to travel as well. It's not too far. So that's going to play a role. But, you know, the thing is, the disparity between quality from bottom to top is obviously going to be the largest that we've ever seen. So I think there's going to be also some blowout scores. I think that's what makes it a bit interesting in our group. You know, some of the teams I think are going to be very likely beaten by the other three. All right, so you're probably better off being in a group like ours where, you know, just 1 point, 1 goal, or so you're always in a chance right to the last game. Yeah. You know, because everyone's going to take points off the others. So I think that is probably in our favour. You know, ultimately, it's going to be one of the big guns, again, who's going to win it. You know, trying to crack into that group is big. The only one that hasn't won it for a long time, and we've been saying this for years, we said on the last World Cup, the real one that's coming through is England, because they're the ones that have had the quality for a long time, but haven't been able to deal with the situation for whatever. But the last 2 World Cups have been so strong. The Euros was strong. Yeah. And we just say it's a matter of time. It's a question of whether, you know, this is the tournament.
Go over the line, yeah, of course.
Can't wait for I like the fact that it's 48 because you get. I saw one fixture at Scotland-Haiti. Now there are stuck with Haitians on American soil. The Scots will tour, probably won't put sunscreen on, enjoy themselves.
In numbers,
by the way.
In numbers.
Yeah, the colour's going to be great.
Yeah, that's true. You got to think to yourself, right? First ever, there was only one ever European team to win in South America, right? It was Germany in 2014. So the last 2 World Cups in Mexico, 1970 was Brazil who won it. 1986 was Argentina. And the last time in America, 1994 was Brazil again. So it's going to have to be, exactly. So it's going to have to, so European teams are going to have to, and they can, Germany showed you can, they're going to have to make history and do something. But it just means, Spain, France,
2010.
France as well. You got to, like, you know, they're always there and thereabouts. So it's, they've got to be able to do something, which, like I said, it has been done. So But it's going to be difficult.
And whether Argentina can be at the same level
exactly.
again.
So history is pointing.
wouldn't it?
History is pointing towards a possible
It did
South
obviously
American.
well in the qualifiers.
South American.
Yeah, history is pointing towards that. But it can be done, like I said.
Brazil.
And I'm tipping England this time.
Still to come on Added Time.
You take that green
You
juice
take
over there,
that.
Jermaine. We'll handle this one if you want.
He's probably thinking, why are we going to buy a centre forward for 150 million when you've got me?
Right from that moment, he has not been a happy chappy.
Well, it could actually be the end of him at the club.
Because he might need a future reference if they want to send me to an institution or something like that.
Well, it has been pondered before, Mark.
The banana loaf, by the way, wow.
What's our next discussion point pointing to, gentlemen? Mo Salah at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez.
I'll
Take it away.
I'll let Jermaine take it.
Jermaine, you go.
You take that green
You
juice
take
over there,
that.
Jermaine. We'll handle this one if you want. What do we think?
What I would say is it's sort of like not nice seeing it because listen, it's Liverpool Football Club. It's a proper club, isn't it? And you're not really used to seeing that. You know, you think about Liverpool and you think about the community, and you think about what that football club's been through over the years, and most recently with Jota. You're going to have trauma in the group, and they've had the champions have had a difficult start, more than a difficult start. I listened to something the other day. Rio said it actually, and it made me think because I've been thinking about the situation because you hate to say it because I love Mo Salah. And then Rio said, would Arsene Wenger put Thierry Henry on the bench and not put him on when you need a goal?
No chance.
Would Sir Alex Ferguson put Ronaldo on the bench and not put him on when you need a goal?
No chance.
Or someone like an Alan Shearer, someone who's like the main goal scorer.
Ruud Gullit did it.
Yeah, he got sacked.
And Ruud Gullit got against
and he got sacked,
Shearer against Sunderland in a derby.
But then again, you can understand when people probably come out and thought, you know what? Yeah, but maybe keep it in house. Do you know what I mean? But then if you've got an emotional person, and he's only human, sometimes and we don't know what's really gone on.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mo Salah's gone to the manager and he's not getting that sort of like conversation, honest conversation that he wants. So you just don't know what he's thinking. But
And it happened before, right?
Yeah, it's happened before.
It also happened under Klopp.
Yeah, it happened under Klopp. Yeah, and it seems like he's an emotional person because, like he says, he loves the football club.
Yep.
He's a machine. He wants to break every record possible.
Loves playing.
And he's used to being the main man. And at the minute, it just seems like I'm not the main man. And even in the summer, he's probably thinking, why are we going to buy a centre forward for 150 million when you've got me?
Yeah.
And you get another one. So
true.
all of, do you know what I mean? So you just don't know. It seems like he's just emotional at the minute.
Can I ask you this then?
I think
Can I ask you this?
he's covered everything there really succinctly as well because
But
we all
also-
know as players as well. Sorry, Foz. But we all know as players as well, and that's why I think he's covered it so well.
Yeah.
Of course, in an ideal world, you don't want to have this airing of your dirty laundry publicly. But we don't know really behind the scenes if he's been wound up and treated really, really badly. Sometimes as a player, you feel as though you've got no other option but to go public with it. Timing is always a big thing, but we don't quite know, do we?
And also, as well, he's probably thinking, I won you the league last year.
Well, by 10 points.
But we're not talking about 3 years ago, what I've done 3 years ago. I'm talking about only like a few months ago, I won you the league, so why are you treating me like this?
100%. And I think, I mean, there's a lot of stories about, like I said, I've said to you all season, right?
Yeah.
You've won the league by 10 points with 4 games to spare, right? I've said this always, right?
Yeah.
You come into the dressing room, we all know what players like, right?
Yeah.
We see 5, not just new signings, right? Okay. And very good, but high profile, excellent.
Yeah.
We know players would have been lucky we won the league.
Lucky won the league.
If we come second, he would have went and got 10. Right from that moment, you could see in that Community Shield when he missed that penalty, he has not been a happy chappy. There's something that Foz you're going to say, please.
I was just going to ask Jermaine and just say, I mean, what does it say about Slot? Because Klopp did have this issue with him as well, where they had a bit of a spat on the sideline and so on. But he seemed to have that capability. Klopp. With his personality and his smile, and he certainly created a strong group, and he somehow could kind of bring him back in.
Yeah, but I think any relationship, like whether you've got a brother or sister, whatever it is, there's going to be periods where something will happen, and for me, that's not the problem. I think it's a problem if it lingers.
Yeah.
But then if there's a situation as two men, I remember Thierry Henry and Pep had Guardiola. Thierry,
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Thierry, stay in your position.
Yeah.
You're not Arsenal now. No, I'll just go and score a goal and win the game for you. No. Pep took him off.
Yeah.
And then Thierry, and what they done was they went for like a coffee. 2 men went for a coffee in Barcelona, sat down, and was honest conversation, and then that was it, done. that was it, done. So, like I said, we don't know what's happened. Obviously, Klopp, he saw like personality, how he was with the players and the cuddles and the love that he gave the players. Everyone's different. You can't expect the new manager to be like that. But at the same time, maybe, and also as well, you get different characters in football. Some players need that. Some players, when they're not playing well, some players, they react to a manager, come on, you need to do more. Other players, you have to put your arm around them.
Or you
So it's
lose
a big
them.
challenge.
Oh, you lose them.
Right?
You lose
It's a big challenge for Slot to work it out.
How do you, like, given that the Africa Cup of Nations around the corner,
He's going to
got
leave
a
on
World Cup he wants to
He's
start
going to leave
at.
on December 15th, right? So
How do you see it playing out?
Well, it could actually be the end of him at the club. It's
His
possible.
last game,
Yeah, because he goes away, and if the team continue, like we talked about it 2 weeks ago when he dropped him, right, put him on the bench, and we were saying here, look,
West Ham game.
it's difficult for a coach when a top-level legend of the club is not performing at the levels expected for whatever reason, and when he makes that call, that can kill the coach as well, right? Because if that doesn't go well and he loses the next few games, then he's in serious trouble because you've left Mo Salah out. But it went in his favour.
Foz, do you think when I say he, I mean Arnie Slot, do you think he's in trouble now?
I don't think he's in trouble. I mean, because I think they're going to give him this season.
Right.
Like I said 2 weeks ago, I think they're going to be up and down. It's clear that he's brought in so many players that the team is unbalanced, right? It's totally different to what it was last year. That's putting a lot of pressure on defence. Defence is buckling now. Defence was unbelievable before, right? And it's a big challenge for him. But I think he probably needed to make the call. It's a big call. It paid off for him. So now he's kind of in the situation of, leaving Mo Salah out.
It's not.
Kind of. They drew those last
They're
two
due to
games.
leave. They're due,
But they won the next game, right? So
they
drew.
They beat
Yeah.
West Ham,
Yeah,
they
beat
drew
West
to
Ham.
Sunderland, and they drew to Leeds.
Benched him for West Ham.
Yep.
Mo Salah going to be a Liverpool player in February, boss.
Oh, I really hope so. I really hope they can do what Jermain was saying, to sit down and sort it out. I don't know Arnie Slot as a character, but he doesn't seem to be the same type of character that Jurgen Klopp is. Like one of them that's going to go, all right, sort of give you a big hug and all that. He doesn't seem to be like that. And another big difference is the fact that things aren't going well, right? If they were, if everyone was buzzing, I think it's easy to do that when things aren't going well. And I just got a feeling, like I said, if he gets knocked out early in the Champions League, in that knockout stage, and they keep going down the table and they do not qualify next season for the Champions League, I think he's really going to struggle to be there.
Trouble.
Yeah, I really do. I don't see another. And remember, sometimes we say about timing, we always like to say end of the season, but new managers do like at least to have one good transfer window.
Yeah.
So and they need to be aware that there's a chance that they might be Liverpool manager. They can start looking and thinking, this is how I'm going to be. So it's a big call, but you know what? He might just have to. It's so difficult situations. We don't know exactly what's going on, but as a manager, you sometimes have to be willing to bite your pride a little bit and go, listen, this guy could still help me, because Mo Salah playing well, right? He could still take them. They're only 10 points still behind. That might be a bit too far, but I wouldn't rule him out. But he's still taking the Champions League.
I just think that, because of what he's done. I know people talk about, but that's before. It's not before, because we celebrate, like, for instance, the Hall of Fame. We induct people in the Hall of Fame that retired 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're still celebrating their careers. So at the end of the day, what he's done for the football club, you'd like to think that one day when he does leave, then he leaves on a high. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not saying about standard, but I'm saying like, it's a celebration for what he's done.
As opposed to say Ronaldo when he left Manchester United the second time.
Yeah, I just think it's just sad to see players when they've done so much at a football club and achieved so much and the titles and all that. It's sad to see him leaving that way. If it happens.
100%.
Crystal balls time now. We're going to talk about some of the great football, Jermain, that we've got on Stan Sport in the coming days, weeks, months. Well, in days. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Champions League. I mean, I don't really need to pick anything up there, do I? I mean, read out the teams and say, boys, what do you reckon?
Speaking about trouble, I mean, Real Madrid got beaten. I think it was Celta Vigo on the weekend. Things aren't going well there. There's stories that half the dressing room are not on Xabi Alonso's side. Vinicius Jr. said to Florentine Perez, Foz, that I'm not signing my new contract until I know that he's not going to be there. Manchester City are doing well. They're scoring goals. Yes, they're conceding them, but you know what? I'll take that anytime. As long as they're scoring goals as well. This is a huge game for Alonso and Real Madrid. If they get beaten there, I'll tell you what, they don't mess around as a club, right, in terms of changing managers.
They don't need to, do they?
No.
It's Real Madrid and that. But yeah, I mean, the stories that are coming out of there about the players and the manager and sort of like, I think I mean, Carlo Ancelotti, you know, Mister, you know, one of the nicest guys in football. I think he gives players freedom to obviously play. And the way you live your life, that sort of like freedom. Use a men, you can do what you want, sort of thing. Just win games. I think Zidane was probably the same. I think with Xabi Alonso, he's probably come in and, you know, different, he's a young coach.
Yeah.
You know, just sometimes it's difficult for managers and coaches and that, because this generation is different. Yeah. When we were playing, it was, do you know what I mean? So it's you have to sort of like move with the times, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good at the minute, but still, that game is a one-off game. You get the best version of all the players.
He's changed a bit though, Xabi Alonso, in the last couple of weeks. He's not gone we have to play positional football, dominate the ball. It's like, okay, well, maybe play to some strengths of Vinicius, or you know, if we have to absorb, we can, and then go straight
Transitions,
away.
yeah, quick, yeah.
It's a big call because, you know, as you say, Real Madrid, you know, you contrast them to a Liverpool, for example. These guys, I mean, you know, you can win the league, you know, not do well in Champions League and still get the sack.
Yeah.
So the level of expectation is so extremely high. It's a big challenge for what is still a young coach, right? Because Perez also will interfere. Because, you know, if Mbappe is unhappy or if Vinny Jr. is happy, so like he's come into the dressing room. That's a total different scenario to what he's had, you know, before in Germany. So big challenge. You're talking about some of the biggest personalities in the world, at the biggest club in the world. It's a big call.
Talk about crystal ball. So then, should we do this? Oh no, I'll try to bring them in. I won't. I'll keep it to my own little crazy thing. Xabi Alonso to Liverpool before the end of the season.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh wow!
There you go. Hold
We'll put that
one
on
just
social
in
media.
case.
Stevie interim and then Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen as well, keep it as well, because you might need a future reference if they want to send me to an institution or something like that.
Well, it has been pondered before, Mark. Anyway, the Tyne-Wear derby. I've got a tip for this one. I'll be watching it alone because I'm not a nice person to be around when it's actually on, as you've seen.
No, you're not,
in the
Adam. No, you're not,
past.
Adam.
Like as Jermaine touched on before, though, it's two sides for once, first time in a long time, and we talk of derbies, and we talk of stupid things happening outside games, such as, you know, fans getting carried away and punching horses and things like that.
Yeah.
We won't go there. We won't get into detail of that. Stick it to the football. Like, this is 50-50 because it's a derby and there's two sides that are on the
and your
on the
beloved
other.
Newcastle, coming back to what we said before, I don't think they've quite yet mastered playing in the midweek, as we saw 2 seasons ago when they were in the Champions League and the league position suffered. So haven't quite mastered that as well. So, and it's a away game. It's always nice after a European game to have a game at home. Very, very difficult game for both sides, really. I think it's a real coin toss. And seeing how I'm sat in between you two, I'm going to say draw.
There we go. You'd have to be impressed by Even I'm impressed by Sunderland this season. And
Sunderland
for
have done
that to
amazing.
fall out of my mouth is...
I wanted to ask Jermaine about it because it just seems like, you know, them, Bournemouth, you know, have had a fantastic start of the season. This year it is so close, and it's nice because, you know, Newcastle didn't start the season well, you know, after Isaac was leaving. That was a mess, and no one was sure how it was going to turn out. What about Villa start the season?
Yeah.
Villa doing
7 games, no
Just like
win.
gone under the radar.
Yeah,
like, just
but
like,
at the start of the season, all competitions, 7 games, not 1 win. Now
it's just like...
third.
Yes, I was saying
Somebody
someone this
gotta win the
morning,
league.
like with Real Madrid and Barca. So Alonso's under pressure, but that's only because it's only Barca really who are ultimately going to challenge you. Sometimes they let it go. You know, Bayern are absolutely flying, but this is the one league that is so incredibly close. And
Yeah, it's
genuinely
tough.
this season, like if you're not at your best, almost any. I mean, look at Leeds. You know, look at Leeds last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just. I don't know what you put that down to, or whether it is the lower club. I mean, the coaching is outstanding now.
Yeah, the level of coaching,
Yeah.
I think it's everything. I think it's a level of coaching.
Recruitment.
I think it's obviously recruitment, just the importance of every game. The importance of every game, the environments and the clubs and the fans. So that's what I mean. There's no easy game. I think it's always been like that in the Premier League, to be honest. Obviously, listen, you had the period with obviously Man United and then obviously Arsenal, the Invincibles, Chelsea. But I just feel like now when you watch the games now, you're like, it's hard to predict the games.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you just don't know. Because even you look at the Fulham City game, should have been 5-5 with a chance at the end.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
100%.
And then a few
100%.
years back, you know, City go to Fulham. Okay, that's 4-0.
That's
You know
right,
what I mean?
exactly.
So like the way it's going now, again, the level of coaching, and I think maybe what Pep's sort of done over the last 15 or whatever long, you know, all of a sudden coaches now are sort of like at that level where, wow, we need to sort of like try and get there and learn as much as we can.
Exactly
So
right. He's transcended the game in so many ways.
Last one, Jermaine, for Crystal Balls. It's not on the sheet here, but you're not sure of your movements in late July when Tottenham and Chelsea come down here to play some A-League games and then meet each other at a core stadium in Sydney in early August for the Sydney Super Cup. But Crystal Balls, you reckon you'll make it back down?
hopefully, I'd love to come back. Love to come back because even obviously when I got the call to come, I was like 100%. It was just weird the way it happened because I've always said, you know, I'd love to come to Sydney, and then to be here, obviously representing Tottenham, and to promoting the cup and you know the tournament, it's going to be special.
Mate, thanks so much for joining us on Out of Time here at North Spoon. We'll bring the menus out and we'll have a little bit of lunch before you're going to duck off.
The banana loaf, by the way, wow.
There you go, the banana loaf,
Wow.
North Spoon in North Sydney.
Two of them.
Thanks, mate. Thanks,
Cheers.
boys.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man. Thank you so much. Good to see you, man.
Cheers, my man. Cheers.
This has been another Stan Sport production.